Hi, remember me? I'm Ken Pfalzgraf. I promised you after I was elected to the board that I would make a video every month to update you on what's happened to me with the board and the way I see things in the district. So this is my report on January 2017, my second month on the board. Typically I wait till the end of the video to do the housekeeping thing, subscribe, like, here's my email address. But we're going to get that out of the way now because at the end of today's video there's going to be some things that I really want to sink in and have you think about the importance of. So let's get that housekeeping out of the way right now. First off, when I say AADUSD Board of Trustees or School Board, that doesn't mean I'm speaking for the school board. You can probably see that, right? So yeah, it's just me, Ken Pfalzgraf, talking to you. When you watch my video, down at that, right down here, it says thumbs up. If you like it, click thumbs up. If you don't like it, click thumbs down. It doesn't bother me if you click thumbs down. In fact, I kind of like it because people see my videos and they say, dude, why does everybody dislike this video? Runs my hits up. So haters, trollers, you're really helping me out. Thank you very much. Now don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to find yourself somewhere and having somebody come up and go, hey, did you hear what that Pfalzgraf had on the internet? Dude, how crazy is this guy? And you're sitting there going, oh no, I didn't see it. No, you want to subscribe to me. That way, as soon as I upload my next video, it sends a message to your phone that says, hey, Crazy got another video up there. And then you watch it first, and then you're the one in the gossip chain going, hey, did you hear what that crazy guy Pfalzgraf said? So remember, subscribe, like, dislike, just do something. You want to make comments below, or if you really want to get a hold of me directly, my email address is kpaadusd@gmail.com. One more time, kpaadusd@gmail.com. Send me an email.
Life in Acton is a little bit different to begin with. Even driving around town has its own special set of challenges. You got wildlife. There's mud holes. You can't pull out without somebody trying to hit you.
Lately, I've been getting some calls about the traffic around some of the school sites.
So I grabbed up my video camera, went and looked at the school sites one Friday morning, and yeah, it's pretty busy. Cars everywhere, you can't see nothing, people pulling in and out. Go right ahead there, buddy. At one school, the pickup line backs up out onto the main road where traffic is traveling at very high rates of speed. I would hate to have to be a bus driver in all this. On the agenda for each board meeting, under 8.6 is board member comments. This is a great place for a board member to give recognition to a student or a staff member, or to introduce a topic that may be of concern to that board member. So at the January 12th meeting, I introduced my concern about traffic around the school sites. Let's have a look at that.
Context I've had, first about traffic, let's frame this properly. There's concerns about the traffic buildup out here in the mornings. That's nothing new. There's concerns about people coming around the curve on Escondido by the high school. What I would hope that at some point in the future, maybe it's time for staff to do a brief report so the public can see that people just didn't throw signs up and do whatever, that there was a traffic plan that was run and approved by the county. I think that some of this traffic in the morning would be alleviated to some extent by some of the students going to Acton School. I think that if there was a touch with whoever's writing tickets on the streets that claim that they need money in the organization, that might be a good thing. And a touch up to make sure from the county people that the signage is appropriate and everything is good. And we just kind of give the brief overview that we're not just sitting back waiting for an accident to happen, because I don't believe that, but I think that would be a good report.
Once you've introduced a topic by way of the board member comments section of the agenda, you simply check at the next meeting to make sure it's reflected in the minutes. In this case, we see Board Member Pfalzgraf stated that stakeholders have contacted him regarding traffic patterns at Meadowlark Elementary School and Vasquez High School. Mr. Pfalzgraf requests that a staff report be presented at a future board meeting. These are the minutes for the January 12, 2017 meeting as published in the packet for the January 26, 2017 meeting. I'll simply reintroduce the topic as necessary until it's finally agendized and we can move ahead with a public discussion.
All right, it's shout out time for this traffic clip. I like that music, huh? It's John Henry by Do Right. Why John Henry? Because I got this tip from Danielle Henry. Thank you, Danielle Henry. Shout out to you for bringing the traffic situation to my attention. Okay, so that's the way it works. You let me know what's going on. I'm leaving here at 5 in the morning. I don't get home sometimes till 8 o'clock at night. I don't know what goes on around here. So if you got a concern, get a hold of me. If there's something I can do to represent you, I will. If I can, I'm going to tell you that. But bottom line, that's why you voted for me. What? You didn't vote for me? Dude, what were you thinking? Anyway, that's all right. Get a hold of me. I'll help you anyway. And you can make up for it next election. It'll be all right.
I was able to attend a couple sporting events in January. On the 24th, I got to see the JV girls and varsity basketball teams play Lone Pine in the new gym. And then on the 28th, there was a very windy day when the Vasquez baseball team faced AEA in a scrimmage game.
I had a great time at the sporting events. Glad I got to go. Thanks to all the teams, the players, the coaches. Love the new gym. Shout out to number 4 on the JV's team for that great basketball footage. When my daughter Kendra was in kindergarten, 1st grade over at Meadowlark, I remember there was a girl in her class. I swear they were both the shortest people in the whole school. If there was a competition for being short, they were both the winners. Now 10 years has gone by, went to the basketball game, and lo and behold, there was that little short girl who's grown up to be a great basketball player. Energetic, she seemed to be everywhere all the time, every play, in on it, great attitude, never a frown, always in it to the end. Shout out to you. This month, January, is the Jade Castro. Good for you, Jade. Okay, let's segue into coaching. This is about the time of the year that we see positions coming up on the school board agenda to hire coaches, assistant coaches, and supports for the sports programs. So how do you become a coach? I got an idea. I was thinking I should be a coach because you know what? When I was younger, a long time ago, I was a great athlete. I mean, every sport, name it, I was awesome. In fact, I was like really good at basketball. So much that I could probably be the basketball coach because I was so great. Anyway, have a look at this clip I have from when I was playing basketball in high school.
Pfalzgraf down the line, up in the air, go to the basket, crowd goes wild.
Is that the most ridiculous thing you ever saw? You know what? Just because you think you were good in high school or when you were younger, you can't live your life vicariously through a bunch of kids that are trying to give their dedication to sports and balance it with academics. So I had a couple pointers when a couple of these positions came up at the school board meeting out of what I expect out of the superintendent. And I framed this with, first, as a school board member, we don't tell the superintendent who gets hired and all that, so please understand that. All we can do is have our set of expectations for the superintendent and then hope that they'll hire a great team, and the coaches are part of that. So again, if I'm going to ask the superintendent to pay attention to something, and this was kind of what I said in the board meeting the other night, was in looking for a coach, there are 3 things that I value. First, understand the student. I believe that every person that's born on this earth is sent here with a specific set of gifts that makes them very different than anybody else who's ever been here, whoever will be here. And those gifts and talents make what that individual is. And I believe a good coach, a mentor, or a teacher, but we're talking about a coach here, is able to look at kids and seek that out, find it, help the student find it, and then encourage them to use that to find their passion in life. That is the most important thing about coaching. This is not about the adult. It is about the student and the player. Next, value academics. Yeah, winning is great, but do we really understand how many kids right now are competing for those very few spots at the upper end of the game, and how few of them will actually get there, and how critical it is that in their pathway to trying to get there, they're given the best opportunity for education so they can achieve something other than sports. If they make it all the way, hey, that's great, that's wonderful. But even then, one bad hit on the knee and you're out. It's really important that a coach understands the value of academic performance. Third and finally, be relevant. If you're a coach, be relevant to your sport. What does that mean? Well, it means regionally you know people, you've made connections, and you've got the ability to pick up the phone and call somebody with some seriousness and say, hey, I got a kid or a group of kids here that you really need to come out to our little town and have a look at these kids, because I think I got something special here. Because at the end of the game, if we can take and place kids by making a phone call, making a commitment to see into somebody's future success after they leave you, our brand gains credibility. Kids want to come here. They don't need to go somewhere else to some other team that they perceive as better. It needs to be here. And the coach, through following these 3 simple steps, will be the strongest influence on our brand. Without the top end, without high academics, and without good sporting programs, the bottom end doesn't do well. Things like special ed don't support themselves. We got to have a balance, and this is really important to me. So that's my January 2017 wrap-up on sports. I hope to see you at a game soon. This month was an important month for charter schools in the district. On the 12th, we had a petition presented to us. That's the 12th of January. And then 2 weeks later at the 26th meeting, we voted on it. If you want to know how I am about charter schools, we can look down below. I will post a link to a video I did about specifically the AADUSD Charter School Model, and you can just click that link after the video and catch up. But I'm not going to regurgitate all of that and spend 20 minutes of your time doing that. So again, look below, find that link. You want to remember that my job, at least as I see it, as a school board member, is to focus on our local students first. So on January 12th, during the presentation by the petitioner or the person wanting the renewal, the group wanting the renewal, the first thing was educational outcomes. Believe me, I wore these people out asking them questions. Do you illegally screen special ed and English learners? Do you do this? Do you do that? There was nothing they really couldn't answer. Now you want to remember that most of these questions, schools are mandated by law, either federal, state, and there are guidelines that people run by. So again, these questions that are being asked are questions that any school would be able to say, yes, but I felt confident that these people from this charter were on top of it. Their answers, I gave them hardball questions, they gave me quick answers, and they were good and honest answers. So check that one off. Educational outcome, good. Next was relevance to our students here in our district. What does that mean? Well, does it mean that anybody in our district goes to the school, one of these charter schools? And in the case of this charter, there was some credit recovery, which is a good thing. So let's say I just blow it in math. I get a D. I'm a junior. I'm looking at this going, this is not going to look good on my college transcript. I'd like another shot at this summer. And I was able to document that this charter does offer credit recovery to a significant number of our students have participated over the years. The number was somewhere up around 400 students. That may mean that somebody took one class, somebody took a bunch of classes. somebody had a problem, the kind I won't get into, but couldn't go to our school and went to this other school for a bit till things got back on track, or health got better. There's a number of reasons. But again, I'm a checkbox yes here on this one, because I do believe through what was I saw in the meeting that this charter did have local relevance to our students. So during the petitioner's presentation, after I saw that on the 12th of January, I started asking some questions about that relate to number 3, the dollar amount impact and risk. Unfortunately, the charter that was asking for a renewal is one of the people, one of the schools that's been named by the state auditor, a charter school that they want to look at. I want to know the results of that before I make a long-term commitment here. I wanted to know where the schools were that are related to this charter. So when I started asking for the locations, which I thought should have been in the original petition, I ultimately didn't get the locations where this charter operates out of, its resource centers or its schools or whatever you want to call their facilities, until one day before the meeting. I ultimately didn't get any cost assessment or risk assessment data, and I finally had asked for a third-party legal firm that hadn't been involved with the district's disputes about charter schools to take a look at the claim that that there wasn't going to be any more legal problems with this particular charter, but I wasn't able to get that later. So excuse me. So I went in on the 26th to vote on this, and I was great with this. I was great with this, but the problem I had was the locations of these places were not provided to me, even a board member, until one day before the meeting. I'm a firm believer, I've told you this before, 72 hours before the meeting, put everything out there, let everybody know. The petition had been on the district website. It was pulled down. I'm not sure why, but I asked that that be put back up. And then I wanted some financial data. My suggestion was that we table those issues until 2 weeks, give everybody some time to see this, including the public, so we could better understand the risk. And then we would vote. And then when it come time to this audit and the things that are going on, I suggested that rather than renew this charter's petition for 5 years, that we renew it for a period of however it took for the state to finish the audit and release the audit with regards to this particular charter, and then 60 days after that. So if there was a finding, we could straighten things out and know where we stand. And this way I believe that substantial risk to the district's financial situation could be avoided. When the votes came in, I was the only one that felt that way. I voted no. My colleagues voted yes. It was 4-1 with me, the only no. Again, I think that 2 weeks, getting more information out there, doing the evaluation and taking a look at the period of extension to coincide with a positive outcome of the audit would have been best in my mind. But that's how it goes. I think everybody knew what my stance was on charters and how to vet them ahead of the election. And the bottom line is I just want validity when it comes to these 3 things. And if I get it, I'm a yes. If I have questions and they can't be answered, I'm going to be a no until they are. I'm going to close this month's video with something near and dear to my heart. It'll help you understand me a little bit more and where I'm coming from. And I'm really always focused on the efficiencies of the district, including this. I'm the parent of a special needs student in the district, and I've been outspoken. I'm still outspoken. You either love my videos or you don't, but the bottom line is you know where I'm coming from. Now, it's been said that by some that everything he does is for that one kid. Well, you can bet that's exactly right, and I think most parents are that way. But here's something I want to share with you. Imagine that you ask your child, what happened at school today? Well, you know that when they're 5, it's like after 3 hours into it, and then I stood up, I took one step, picked up a crayon, and they will go on and on. But by the time they're 11, it's what happened at school today? Nothing. Nothing, yeah, nothing, you know, typical. But imagine that you've never been able to ask your child, not once, what happened at school today? And get an answer because they're not verbal. And so that's the issue with one of my children. So thanks to my wife, we found early on when we learned that she would not be able to talk for quite some time. I mean, she's still receiving intensive therapy and no one's given up on her. And thanks to everybody that's helping her with that, especially you, Nikki. But at the end of the day, we took up finding a set of videos that help you learn sign language. It's called Signing Times. This isn't a plug for anyone, but Signing Times is a video set where you watch it, a DVD, excuse me, I'm an old man, but you watch it, it's grouped by things like today at school, on the farm, at the zoo. So you can learn a number of words that fit a category, so you could actually interact with someone or somebody that was nonverbal would be able to sign to you and you'd be able to interact with them. And that's been so meaningful to us. But this month, early in the month, we were able to go to an actual taping of Signing Times and meet finally Rachel Coleman, who's been a strong influence on our life. We got a set of the DVDs. They are at the Meadowlark Library if you're ever interested. I'm sure Cassandra Farley would, the principal there, would help you find those. But anyway, we're going to close this month's session with a look at Tammy and her interactions with Rachel Coleman and the Signing Time cast at the YouTube video recording this month. Thanks. See you next month.
Right here. Here's that. Here's that. Do you know the colors of our rainbow? Do you know the colors of our rainbow? It's red, orange, yellow.